Welcome to the live. Alex Otto here. Today we're gonna talk about how to build your business using AI system. This is one of my favorite parts about the business. Um, this is what will really take you from being a worker in your business to being an actual CEO working in your business, right? This is how I teach my students how to go from um, day to day, washing cars, talking to customers every single day, doing everything yourself. And the entire goal of starting a business is so that you can go from doing everything yourself, right, to freeing up your time, and then you can make money without having to tie up your time and be there every single day. So in this live, that's exactly what we're going to talk about. And I'm going to show you some of the systems that I use. I'm going to show you some of the systems that are available to you. That way you can really build as you're scaling your business, right? As you're adding more and more cars, you can really build it up. You can really build it up. And then the goal is to be able to get to a point where you can remove yourself from your business, and it's every single step, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen. You guys can see the screen here, and then give me 1 second. Boom, there it is. Okay, so yeah, so let's get right into the live. Let's talk about it. Scaling your business using AI and systems. We're gonna talk about the systems to use. Okay, here I'm gonna give you guys a few systems to use. I'm gonna give you guys what they're actually meant to be used for, and then that way you can implement into your business. The first thing you're gonna need is a car rental software. This is a no-brainer. Like, you should not be trying to run a business like a car rental business without software, because how are you gonna track your reservations? How are you gonna be able to create contracts? How are you gonna be able to email your customers the contracts for them to sign? How are you gonna be able to send invoices and things like that? You can do this out of your car rental software. And then some of the car rental software out there also will help you be able to set reminders for maintenance. Okay, so it's car rental software. What does it do? It automates contracts. Okay, so your rental agreements, right? Everything like that, your car rental software will automate that for you. So when you go in and you create a reservation or you create a rental, right? It links the car information, it links the customer's information, which obviously you're gonna enter into the system, right? And then it generates a rental agreement for you, and then you can send the rental agreement to your customers for them to read over and sign. It also creates reservations. Okay. As you get more and more, when you have maybe one or two cars, it's simple and fairly easy to track reservations. But as you get more and more cars, it's gonna get harder to track your reservations. Okay. So your car rental software will have everything in there, and it makes things so much easier. You can send invoices to your customers from your car rental software. So if you can send it as a link to their phone, to their email, and then they just tap the link, they put in their card information, and then they pay. Okay. Obviously, I have a reminder for maintenance here, so that's also another feature. And not all of them do that. Some of them do that. All right. So here are some of the car rental softwares out there that you can use. Okay. I don't have a recommended one, but I would say go out there, right? Test these, see whichever one works for you, especially when it comes to pricing, because a lot of the times, you guys, it's gonna come down to pricing. Just depending on how many cars you have, right? Fleetwire is the cheapest, then Fleet Finesse, then probably HQ Rentals, and then Rent Centric, in terms of pricing. And they all pretty much do the same thing. Obviously, there's levels to it. Some car rental softwares will give you higher levels of features and things like that. And then you have customer support. So one of the most important things also is, if you're not tech savvy and you need a lot of customer support help, you have to take that into account, right? Which one of these will be able to give you customer support when you actually need it? Okay, so test them out. A lot of these have a free trial period for 30 days. See how you like it. If you don't like it, don't use it. Just switch over. If they don't respond, if they don't do any of that, right? This is crucial for your business. So you have to make sure that you are able to work with people that you like working with and that are easy to work with. Okay, so car rental softwares, that's number one. So that's the first one you should get. Now let's talk about the power of systems. Okay, it's gonna save you a bunch of time. All right, so you want to save as much time as possible when you're running a business. and your systems will do that. You leverage technology. Okay, we're going into a technology age, ladies and gentlemen. If you're not using tech, you're gonna fall behind. You're gonna lose to the people who do. It's very simple and it's very straightforward. Okay, so you need to be able to use the tech. All right, you need to be able to use the tech. Don't be afraid of technology. Okay, don't shy away from technology. Use technology. That's what it's there for. What's up, David? Yeah, nice to see you too, bro. Hey, drop your questions in the chat as I go. I'll answer the questions right at the end. So if you have any questions as I'm going, feel free to drop it in the chat. But yeah, what's going on, David? Appreciate the support. But yeah, so that's another thing, right? Improving efficiency. Man, efficiency is everything. Okay, you want to be efficient. You want to get things done quickly. Speed is everything in business, right? Success loves speed. So car rental software will do that, and then it takes away all the extra work, ladies and gentlemen. You want to make things easy for you. All right, so that's what your systems will do. Okay, so that is something to keep in mind. Now let's talk about AI, because there is a lot of information out there about AI, but how does AI actually work? Okay, how does it actually apply? The application is actually what is important, is where the money is. It's not just using AI for AI's sake. It's using it in an applicable way to make your business run more smoothly and make your life easier. Okay, so that's what you need to keep in mind. So number one, automate customer communication. Okay, there's AI tools out there that can make it very easy for you to talk to your customers, right? Let's say somebody calls you while you're closed. Let's say somebody, I don't know, let's say the customer texts you and you can't get to the text for whatever reason, right? There are tools out there that you can use to automate. I'm going to show you, I'm going to talk about it. And then you can go out there and look it up, right? Make sure I understand how these systems work. That way you can use it and implement it. Okay. Now, automate contract signings. Obviously, I talked about this for your car rental software. You can also use things like Go High Level, right? But we'll talk about that. But you want to make sure that you can at least, if they're not signing the contracts over email, they're at least receiving it so that they can review it before they show up, right? Before they show up, they know what they're getting themselves into. There's AI assistants. AI assistants are amazing. I use them all the time. And then AI content creation. This is like a new phenomenon that kind of just popped out this year, and people are going crazy with it. And I'll talk about how you can actually use AI for content creation. So starting with customer communication, you have Go High Level, ladies and gentlemen. Go High Level is amazing. Go High Level allows you to be able to communicate with your customers, and then you can set up automations. So if somebody calls you while you're out of business hours, you can just, it sends them a text. I have that. I have, hey, we're currently outside of business hours. How can we help you? And 9 out of 10 times they will respond. Keep it simple, right? Make it seem seamless and make it seem personal. And then you have Open Phone as well. Open Phone is also amazing. It has a lot of things you can integrate onto that platform. And you can set up automations in Open Phone. And there is a next level to this. However, I'm not a big fan of it because when it's implemented, it's not favorable, right? Because what I notice is that you can have AI agents in Go High Level that can actually pick up the phone and speak to your customers. And I did do this. I did test it out for 30 days. However, what I noticed was that the customers were extremely frustrated speaking with the AI. Like they can tell that's not a human and they get frustrated. Okay. And then when my virtual assistants came in the next day and followed up with the customers, they didn't pick up, they didn't respond. Like it kind of lost me some business because people don't like not speaking with somebody. So I just stuck with the text. The text seems to work, so I stick with the text, right? You can obviously implement that in a way that for you, right, if you want to test it out, but making sure that you understand how to actually implement AI where it actually works for your business and not just because you hear it or see it online. Okay? AI assistants, ChatGPT. I use ChatGPT all day, every day. I have threads in ChatGPT, and I'll show. And these are some of the things I use it for. So I use ChatGPT as my mechanic to find the best cars. What do I mean by this? You can prompt ChatGPT to give you a list of the top best cars by make and model that have the least amount of issues, because every car is going to have its issues, right? So when I'm prompting ChatGPT, I'm prompting it almost like I'm talking to somebody. Hey, I run a car rental business, ChatGPT. My customers drive my cars for Uber, Lyft, and DoorDash. They're driving about 3,000 to 5,000 miles every single month. I need cars that are going to be reliable and can withstand that kind of driving. Can you recommend me the best cars? Boom. And it's going to give you the best cars. And now you can search for the best cars. Another thing you can use it for is if you're interested in buying a car, you can put the car's year, make, model, and trim into ChatGPT, and ChatGPT will literally give you based off its research. And I have ChatGPT do user-based research. So what do I mean by this? I'll say go into forums like Reddit and things like that and find complaints about the top 5 issues with this type of car, and it will actually pull it and give it to you, and it will give you links, and then you can go into the forums and read it for yourself. Okay, so that's the way I use it as my mechanic. So whenever I'm interested in buying a car, I put the year, make, model, I give it to ChatGPT. ChatGPT tells me whether it's a good buy or not, whether I should buy the car or not, its reliability, the biggest issues with the car, and then whether it's worth, and then I have to decide whether it's worth my money, right? So that's a great way to use ChatGPT. Another way is use it as a social media manager for content. So you can have it just spit you content ideas. You just give it your niche, you give it your personality, your tone, and then it will just spit you topics. It will give you a script and everything, and you can use that to literally make content. It's amazing, right? We have AI like that. And then you can use it to write SOPs, okay? A lot of people don't like writing SOPs. You have ChatGPT. Just tell it all the stuff that you do for a specific kind of process, and then it will write you the standard operating procedure, and then you can literally use that to give to your team so that your team knows what to do step-by-step basis. SOPs need to be extremely detailed, so a lot of the times when we're writing them ourselves, we struggle to go into minute detail, but ChatGPT will actually go into minute detail for you. It can also write you job descriptions when hiring. You just need to tell it what you need that person that you're going to hire to do, and it will write you a job description, and then you can just post a job description on the job forums, okay? And then here's the one that I like the most. I use ChatGPT to code. When I was in college, I just finished college this year. I was using ChatGPT to do my coding homework, and it was amazing. It's a beast when it comes to coding. It's a beast when it comes to math. Now when it comes to writing, that's when it's a bit robotic, right? Writing and things like that, that's when it's a bit robotic, and that's when schools can kind of catch it. But outside of that, when it comes to math and coding, it's a beast. Okay, so you can use it to code your website. I know a lot of y'all were talking about the websites in the Facebook groups. You can use ChatGPT to code your website. Okay, so that's amazing. I love ChatGPT. Now for content creation, here are some AI tools you can use for content creation. Okay, some of these tools are kind of new. All right, so you have Submagic. Submagic is almost like a studio. It does your editing for you. Okay, it can edit your videos for you. So it can add music, it can add B-roll, it can add captions. All you gotta do is upload the video and then click a few buttons, and then you can turn your video from a regular lame video into engaging with beats and everything and B-rolls. It's amazing. It's amazing. So Submagic is great for that. And then you have Gling. Submagic is more for like short form content like TikToks and Instagram. And then Gling is for longer form content like YouTube and things like that. So Gling is the same thing as Submagic. It's a video editing software, and it's also amazing. It can do all of the fun stuff for you. And then you have Sora. Sora, I think came out last year, but it's been popular this year. Sora AI can make videos from text, from just a description, which is kind of sick. So you have Sora that can literally make you videos out of thin air like this. So there's really no excuse for not making content. And when it comes to a business, content is going to be your best friend. Okay, content is how people find you, because everybody's on their phone these days. You ever meet a person in their early 20s? They are glued to that phone, bro. They are glued to that phone. So you need to be in there. You need to show up in there somehow, some way, and that's where the game changes. So when it comes to content, these are the places you can go to get amazing content. And then you have AI and systems to stack your fleet. So you have CRM systems, right? This is the stack that I use, right? I think outside of the car rental software, I use Fleet Finesse, but this is the stack, right? You have Go High Level. Go High Level is amazing, right? One of the top CRM platforms. You have a car rental software like FleetWire and Fleet Finesse that you can use for your bookings, sending out contracts and things like that. And then you have your AI assistant with ChatGPT. There is more AI assistants out there. You have Claude, Gemini, Gronk, things like that. And then you can use Sora to literally make videos from thin air. So there you go. AI systems, right, that you can use for your fleet. Now, hiring. A lot of people shy away from hiring, and I don't know why. Hiring is one of the best ways to free up your time in business. Like, it's not even close. There's nowhere close that you can do that. And here's hiring a virtual assistant. Here's what they'll do for you. They'll manage your day-to-day operations. They'll pick up phone calls and then they'll follow up with your customers. They'll manage your invoices and payments, right? They'll send contracts and agreements. Think about this. What I listed here is basically what takes up the most time, especially in this business. You've just freed up basically like 60 to 70% of your time. Okay, and then you can just focus on getting cars ready, buying cars, getting them ready, right? And then plugging it, and it's just a plug and play because you know somebody will follow up with customers to get them in the cars. You know that somebody will send contracts and invoices and things like that. They'll manage the day-to-day operations, and you pretty much have freed up your time. So hiring virtual assistants is a beast and it's a cheat code. So the entire purpose of this live is to get you guys to go from working on your business, not in your business, because working on your business is how you actually grow it and how you actually become a CEO and why a business becomes worth it. Okay, so this is just a plug, shameless plug. Join the course, right? I help all my students. I think we're currently at like 17 or 18 students build systems that pay you, not just running the business, building an actual system that pays you. And that's what I teach and that's what I do. So I'm gonna go back here and then I'll jump into the chat and then we can answer questions. Because I see there's a few questions in here. So my guy David says, "Hey Alex, good to see you live." Yeah, bro, good to see you, man. Good to see you. Good to see you. Nice to see you on here. I appreciate you being on here. You know, thanks for the support as always. Let's go. Let's go. We got Bob Collins. Good to get you live. What's going on, bro? What's going on, Bob? Talk to me. Talk to me. What's going on? I'm here. I'm live. I'm live. Mechanicum friend said, how do I get your contact? Bro, I don't give my contact out publicly. People will blow up my phone. Okay? So if you need something, you can message me on Facebook or in the community and I'll do my best to respond. That's they can get a booking website. You're doing a shameless plug for your booking website. Fair enough. You can just you have the Facebook community. If you want to do that, go ahead. If people are interested, they'll tap in with you. If you want to list what the benefits of your website are, go ahead and do that. How does someone get in touch with you? Like I said, man, I can't give out my personal information. My students get in touch with me, right? I think it's fair, right? They're paying for my time, so I give them my time. But outside of that, it's not really fair for me to give my time out because I have it limited. I only have 24 hours in a day. If I give that to everybody, I'm not going to be able to get anything done. So hopefully you understand that. Bob says, do you have a class for doing this rental business from novice to expert? Yeah, so I have a course where I teach. It's $49 a month. It's nothing. It's literally nothing. And then you get access to a Telegram group where you have other 17, 18 other members in the community, and people are going crazy, right? People are making money from claims. People are buying cars, and then you can learn. We have people that are literally mechanics in there, and then you can ask questions. I'll answer your questions. Other people will answer your questions. We have anywhere from people that are starting from scratch to people that have been on Turo for 2-3 years to people that most people are starting private rentals, which is why they're in there. And the goal for me, for my students, is to get each and every person to $10,000 a month within the next 12 months. That's the entire goal of the course. Okay, so it's not a life-changing amount of money for me, and the reason why I did it in that format is because it is literally better to learn from a group of people, right? Because if you're in a group, like we do weekly calls, like similar to this, but it's on Zoom, and you can ask me direct questions on Zoom about your business. I can give you direct answers. And the reason why I do it in that format is because somebody's gonna ask a question you didn't even think of, and that will save you a bunch of money. Okay, and that happens all the time. I've been in a bunch of courses and a bunch of mentorships, and the biggest value is always the people in there, and obviously the mentor too, right? Obviously you're my time, right? My experience. I can give you answers quickly that can solve your problems. So that's what's available. I only market it in my Facebook group. I used to do it on YouTube. I took it off. I only market it on my Facebook group. I do that for a reason. So feel free to hit me up if you want to DM me directly on Facebook. if you're in the group. If not, join the group. The link is in there somewhere in the group. I usually have it pinned so that you can get it from there. So hopefully that answered your question. Let me know. Yeah, in the Facebook group. In the Facebook group. Cool. Dammy, what's going on, bro? I have phone number for my business, but GHL wants me to get a phone number to be able to use it in their system. Is there a way? Yeah, you should be able to sync it. Depending on what system you use for your current business phone number, you should be able to sync it. I can't remember what it's called. So if you go on GHL, you go in settings, you go to phone system. Instead of buying from GHL, there's another way. You have to do it from the agency level. There's another way to link your current phone system, but it only links certain applications. So you might have to use Zapier. If you know what Zapier is, you might have to use Zapier to do the link, but it's possible. I think this is Dammy that's in my community. Just hit me up on Telegram, bro, and then I'll walk you through it. Bob says, where do you get virtual assistants and how much do you compensate them to take care of day-to-day operation? So you can get virtual assistants on a website called onlinejobs.ph. I pay my virtual assistants $3 an hour. I have two of them. I have an executive assistant who obviously is he's basically goes in place of me, right? He's basically me. And I have a second assistant who's there also, and they both pretty much do the same thing, and they both understand the business very well. So for me, they make my life a whole lot easier. So now I've been just focused on picking up cars, and since I hired, so you don't really see it until you hire the first one. Since I hired the first one, I literally went from like 6-7 cars to we have 17 cars now. By the end of this month, we're probably gonna end up with 20 cars, and then by the end of the year, we're getting 25 cars. So things move very quickly because I can simply focus on getting more cars. How often do you meet in the course? Once a week. It's once a week, every Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern time. It's for 2 hours. So we go in depth. We go a lot more in depth. People ask me questions about their specific situations. I help people with claims, right? Insurance. That's usually the biggest one. And the reason why I did that, and a lot of people are going to be like, oh, well, you know, I'm a course seller. Yeah, of course I'm a course seller. And the reason why I did that is because, one, I can't say certain things on Facebook. I mean, shit, on YouTube. I just can't, I can't do it, right? So there are plays out there that you can run when it comes to insurance and things like that. That will make sense once you're in there. But unfortunately, I can't say it here. And people are like, oh, when they join the course, they're like, oh, what couldn't you say? And I tell them, and they're like, oh, okay. And then they get it. So that's really what it is. And then I would like to join the group. Where do I get to hear where the link is? It's in the Facebook group. Facebook group, check the description of this live, and then also the bio on YouTube. The Facebook link is in there. You can just click on it. Once you're in the Facebook group, you join. The link to the course is in there. Let me know once you get in there. Shoot me a DM, and then yeah, man, I'll add you to Telegram, and then we'll chat it up. Let's see. AMD Music Group. Do you have cheap personal insurance recommendation? So you don't want cheap insurance. Trust me. You want the best when it comes to insurance. And my recommendation is Geico and State Farm. Those are the two best, because when it comes claim time, you don't want to be struggling. So you want the two best companies, and that's Geico and State Farm. And you want full coverage insurance. Don't get liability only. They're not going to cover your car. I'm not on Facebook though. Any other way to get the link? Man, it's 2025. You're not on Facebook? Okay. Let me see. I'll drop it in here. Give me 1 second. I'll drop it in here. But if you guys have any other questions, feel free to ask. I know there's how many people in here? There's like 6 people in here. Yeah, feel free to ask any other questions. If not, I'm gonna talk. I like to talk, so I'm gonna talk for a good amount of time. But I want to drop the link in here for my guy. Let's see. And then you can use that to get in there. Let me know if you got it. How many hours do your virtual assistants do weekly? Yeah, so I start all my virtual assistants at 4 hours a day. So part-time. I start all of them part-time. And the entire purpose of starting them part-time is to put them through a vetting period to see if they're actually good. If they're good, you can take them full time. It's completely up to you. For me, I did it gradually. I did 4 hours a day, 5 days a week, and I did 6 hours a day, 5 days a week, and I did. And as my demand kept growing, then I went 6 days a week, and now my executive assistant is basically on 8 hours a day, 6 days a week. So you want to do it gradually like that. It's not a big commitment. You spend maybe $300, not even that, in your first month, um, and then sometimes it might take you a couple of tries to get a good one. Um, but the main thing when it comes to hiring is having SOPs. You need standard operating procedures, okay? So that they know when they come in what they're supposed to do, because they're not gonna know anything. Um, you need to be able to um, communicate your goals and your standards, most importantly, about your business. So um, most people don't rise to the goals, they fall to the standard. So you need to have a standard that they cannot fall below, and if they fall below, you get rid of it. That's mainly what it is. And I have my standard. If they fall below, they're gone. um, so that's my advice. But the main thing is to have your standard operating procedures. So everything that you're doing now, you have to start writing it. You have to start writing all your processes. Make a list. Everything that you do that can be outsourced to somebody online, and everything that you do that can be outsourced to somebody online. So like phone calls, DMing customers, sending rental agreements, maybe posting on social media, things like that. Those things can be outsourced. And then like getting cars ready, taking them to the mechanic, um, meeting customers, that can be outsourced yet, up until you can find somebody in person, then you outsource that. So that's the answer to your question. um, onlinejobs.ph, onlinejobs with a s.ph. Where are you originally from? I'm from Ghana. I'm from West Africa, man, born and raised. I moved to the United States in 2010. So what was that? I was 11 years old. Came here when I was at the end of middle school, I think. No, I went to seventh grade. So at the end of sixth grade, seventh grade, eighth grade, I struggled a lot in school. I wasn't a terrible student. I wasn't the best student. But I did struggle a lot in school, and then it kind of made sense to me the older I got why I struggled in school. I struggled even more in college, but it made sense to me why. And then once I kind of found my thing, I just kind of ran with it. But yeah, that's a little bit about my origin story. Hopefully, it's a good question. I like talking about myself. Accra boy Kwame is proud of you. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Accra boys, we're here. Yeah, man. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. Yeah, but thanks for the support. Thank you all for joining. I love doing these lives. I love helping. This is something that I wish I had when I was starting. And, as stubborn as I am, I started this all on my own with no help until I got mentorship from one of the best in the industry. And then I've just been getting mentorships then because it accelerates your growth. It cuts the learning curve. So, like, instead of, because you're going to pay the price anyway, people don't understand this. Like, it's a very simple concept. You're going to pay, if you're starting something, you're either going to pay the price of learning the hard way and wasting a bunch of time, or paying somebody that's already where you want to get to, paying that person, they cut the learning curve, and then you get there faster. You pay one way or another. It's very difficult for some people to understand that concept. And I get it. I get why it's difficult, because it's unnatural. Like, it's outside of how we've been programmed, because you've been taught that you shouldn't collaborate, right? When you're in school and you can't even work together on a test because that's wrong. That's cheating. In life, people cheat. That's how life works. People cheat. Do you think that when people are starting businesses, they're not just cheating off somebody else that's already successful? You'd be stupid not to cheat off somebody that's already successful. But because we've been programmed so hard out of this cheating mentality, people think that I'm just trying to get money. I charge $49 a month for a course. I make like 20 to 30 times that. You have to understand. So like, it's not really about money. If I wanted to do it for money, I would do exactly this. I would do one-on-one mentorship. I would charge like 3 to 5 grand per person, and then I'll do it that way, because I'll make a shit ton, fuck ton more money that way than the way I'm doing it. The way I'm doing it is I'm doing it this way because this is the best way to learn. Because when you're starting a business, There's going to be, yes, there's going to be things that you know that you don't know. But then there's going to be things that you don't know that you don't know. Boom, simple. There's going to be things that you don't know that you don't know. And you won't know you don't know until you're there and somebody is talking about it. You're going to be like, oh shit, I didn't even know I was supposed to know that. All right. And I'm sure some of you have already learned things like that by watching YouTube videos. So if my free content is giving this much value, do you really think that my paid content will give you less value? Think about it. So that's just the kind of energy I'm putting out there, so that people understand. I'm paying for your course, yes sir. Jump in there. Make sure you shoot. You're gonna get a DM from me. Respond to that DM, and then we'll go from there. You get a DM inside the school platform, and then respond to that DM. But yeah, so that's it. Ladies and gentlemen, that's what I wanted to show you guys. I think the main thing is this: when you're starting a business, don't get so much stuck inside, right? Like the statistic is that like 80% of businesses fail. And I want you to really think about that statistic. 80%, 8 out of 10. So 8 out of 10 businesses fail. And think about why that is. Because when you're starting something, you don't know what you're doing. You probably don't have that much money. You probably don't have the skills that you need, right? So if 80% of businesses are failing, what are you going to do to put yourself in that 20%? Because if you're just going to wake up and start a business and then just follow what everybody else is doing, you're going to probably fall in that 80% unless you're exceptional. And I'm not saying that those people aren't out there. Of course, those people are out there. There's exceptions out there, but exceptions don't make the rule. So what are you going to do to set yourself apart? That's one. And two, when you're building a business, it's a long-term play. A lot of people come into a business and then they're like kind of expecting things to click right away. It won't. There's a learning curve. You're going to learn. And the faster you learn, the quicker you're going to get to where you want to get to. So you just need to come in and just learn as quickly as possible. It's really that simple. Come in and just learn as fast as possible. All right, so that's another thing. And then the last thing I'm going to say, if there's no more questions, the last thing I'm going to say is this. You need to get to a stage where you're going to be working on your business, not inside of it, because that's how the business actually grows, right? I focus now. This is how my day-to-day looks like. I wake up every day and I use my network, the people I know, the people I've met inside communities and groups, and the people that are around me, and then I just try to get more cars. That's literally what I spend most of my time doing. Why? I don't have to talk to customers. I don't have to send rental agreements. I don't have to send invoices. I don't have to do contract extensions. I don't have to, what else do my team? I don't have to make content. Oh God, that used to take all day. I don't have to make content. I don't have to edit anything. My team does all of that. And then literally I just talk to people and trying to get more cars every day. Do you think that if you sat down every single day for the next 30 days and try to talk to people to get more cars, you wouldn't end up with more cars? You would. It's as simple as that. Okay, so that's where working on the business becomes better than working in the business. And you wouldn't even know that you're supposed to know that. What I just told you, I guarantee at least more than half the people here didn't even know that. So this, and that's what I mean when I talk about things like getting mentorship and information, because working on your business is how it actually grows, not in it. If you're washing cars and talking to customers all day, how are you going to get more cars? Yeah, maybe you can save up and buy more cars, but don't you think that would be faster if you learn the skill of talking to people and just having people give you cars? You have no car payment, you don't pay the insurance, you don't have any of the liability. You just got to explain to them your process, how it works. They agree to it. You take a cut, you take the biggest cut, and then you move on to the next person. And then you can grow your fleet very, very quickly. Okay, so that's the live. My guy, I just saw that, so I saw you in here. Yes, sir. We're gonna talk. I'll drop you in the Telegram group today, and then yeah, let's get you. Let's turn you up. Let's make you some money. And yeah, if there's no other questions, I'm gonna go ahead and end the live. I appreciate you guys for joining. I appreciate the support. Make sure you smash the like button on the way out. Okay. Thank you for joining the live. If you find value in it, like the video. Make sure you subscribe, leave a comment, let me know what you think, and I'll see you next week. Let's go.